Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy. Scratch that. Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Oli FX. Damn, I almost said I'm back with another video. Alright, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Oli. Bro. Alright, what up, YouTube? It's your boy, Oli FX. Right. So, welcome to my channel, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Let me kind of introduce myself a bit, right? So, I'm currently 18. I'm currently a student in South Africa, and I'm a swing trader on the side, bro, right? I'm a swing trader as well. So yeah, if you're a swing trader as well, tap into the channel, like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm trying to provide some value for y'all too. I just take y'all through my journey, take y'all through my wins, my losses, my views. You know what I mean? This video in particular is gonna be a Sunday swing. So basically, what I'll be doing is I'll be going over the markets that I'll be interested in this coming week. Right. So I'll also be reflecting on the previous week, but I think for this first video, I'll just do a Sunday swings, right? So if you're interested in these kind of videos, if you want to gain insight on videos like this, I'll try and drop every Sunday. I'll honestly try, bro. I'm not gonna make a promise, but I'll really try for y'all. Yeah, man. If you're messing with this kind of content, Sunday swings, you know what I mean? I mean, we can both catch the trades together, right? But yeah, if you wanna join this community, if you wanna join what we do, man, just like, comment, share, subscribe. Comment down below if I should start like a Discord community or whatever, be Telegram, whatever. And yeah, I'll do that. But for right now, let's get into the video. Alright, so guys, basically what we're looking at right now is NASDAQ, right? I do trade all currencies, I do trade indices, I do trade futures, but I mostly trade currencies because that's where the opportunities mostly arise. We're using the strategy that I use. If you want me to go more in depth into the strategy, what I look for, my confluences, how I rank my trades, let me know. And I will try and make a video on that for sure. But even on this video right now, you can pretty much learn what I look for and how I trade. So you can also just stay and watch this. Okay, so looking at NASDAQ, as you guys can see, we have a huge bearish engulfing on the weekly time frame. So the strategy that I use goes up from the weekly time frame all the way down to your 1 hour and your 30-minute mostly. I rarely ever use the smaller time frames, to be honest. Right, so looking at this right here, we have a bearish engulfing, right? So that's already a confluence for sells. As you can see, the weekly is kind of forming what looks like a head and shoulders pattern, bro, right? So we could expect a nice big move to the downside, probably up until this weekly EMA or this weekly area of interest that we have over here. So I want to be a part of that move. Obviously, I'm not going to hold for that long, but I'll probably take partials along the way there, right? So I think this could give a nice risk to reward trade. Definitely could give a nice risk to reward trade. Going down to the the daily time frame, right? As you can see on the daily time frame, we broke this daily area of interest over here, right? So this also confirms the fact that I'm looking for sells in this trade, right? That also serves as confluence. So let me just remove this over here. So next up, we've got the 4-hour time frame, and as you can see on the 4-hour time frame, we did kind of reject that same area of interest. But honestly, I'm just gonna let price play out a bit on Monday just to see exactly what the 4-hour on NASDAQ does, because I do anticipate it coming back to the upside a bit and then maybe having the push down. So before I take this as a rejection on the 4-hour, I will be careful and see what it does on Monday. Otherwise, the 2-hour looks quite perfect. We could even have an entry over here, bro. It really looks great, right? So I'm just gonna be very careful when it comes to this trade. Moving on to GBP AUD. Right, so with GBP AUD, we have a nice weekly doji candle over there. As you guys can see, the weekly closed with a nice red doji candle over there, rejecting off of that area of interest. Another thing that you guys can use to confirm that it is kind of rejecting is, as you can see, the wicks, they go through, but the candles never close through it, right? So that's also what makes this a good area of interest. However, on the daily time frame, the daily is currently bullish right now, right? And we do kind of have a daily doji. So I'm going to wait for a nice daily confirmation or rejection candle, more preferably a daily bearish engulfing candle. And then that's when I will enter this trade for some sales, right? Otherwise, it is a great setup. The 4 hour also is bearish, but I am still looking for sales. Definitely still looking for sales, guys. Okay, moving on to NZD CAD. Right. Yo, guys, subscribe so that I can take off those ads. No cap. Right, moving on to NZD CAD, bro. NZD CAD is having a nice push to the upside right now. As you can see on the weekly, we are at this area of interest, but I do think it's just gonna go right through it, right? The weekly time frame is bearish since we broke this low. However, I think it's still gonna come to the upside before maybe changing its direction. Right, as you guys can see as well on the daily time frame, we did break this daily area of interest, right? As you can see, we've had rejections from this area for some time now, right? So if what I think is gonna happen and what I've seen happen a lot of the times is we'll probably have another daily red candle, and then the next daily candle will be the one that actually rejects it, giving us a bullish engulfing candle, right? So I honestly think that's what's gonna happen. As you can see on the 4 hour time frame, it looks like it's gonna go to the upside, pretty much because we have that 4 hour bullish engulfing with the 4 hour EMA providing that little push back up. But what I'd say as a piece of advice to you guys is to focus on the daily time frame for sure. Focus on the daily time frame. Daily time frame for me is a very key player in my strategy, in how I trade, right? Because a lot of the times the daily time frame is the one that's more respected out of the weekly time frame and the 4 hour time frame. So yeah, I'd suggest that for you guys. Looking at moving on to Euro USD, as you guys can see, we broke this kind of area of interest. This is more of a daily area of interest, but this weekly had a blue kind of candle, so I think price could still go up. As you guys can see on the daily, we technically still bearish, and on the weekly we are bearish. However, I do think price still has a lot of potential to come to levels like these. You know, maybe it's just to reject the daily area of interest, bro. Sorry, EMAs, daily EMA. So right, so the past week I've just been looking if price would give a nice 4 hour entry candle followed by lower time frame confluences, right? So I'm gonna continue waiting for that. As you can see, we did have a nice candle with the EMA, but I want more of a doji or bullish engulfing candle. I do think price is still gonna push down a bit more, or this from this 2 hour we could go up. So I recommend paying a lot of attention to this trade. That's why it is in one of my top trades. So moving on to AUD CAD, as you can see on the weekly time frame, we are now at this kind of area of interest. It is more of a daily area of interest again, just to confirm, right? Jotting down to the daily time frame, we're still gonna wait for a break, a close under the area of interest for then some sells, right? As you can see, the 4 hour did break it, but I think the 4 hour is gonna do pretty much something like this, right? It's gonna go a bit more down, then it's gonna come back, right? And around when it's down is when we're gonna have the daily closure, then it's gonna come back, then we go to the downside, right? So that's what I expect to happen. Moving on to AUD CHF. AUD CHF, AUD CHF is I'm looking for sales, right? As you can see, the weekly time frame did switch bearish, right? The weekly time frame did switch bearish after we broke this low over here. And now we are exactly in the dead center of this area of interest. So I really do think we will have sales on AUDCHF. As you can see, the daily time frame is still bearish. It is still bearish. So this is actually a very confluent trade, high confluence trade. So we had that daily bearish engulfing. Again, I just want to add we are bearish on the weekly, we are bearish on the daily, and on the 4 hour, yeah, we are bearish on the 4 hour as well after we broke that low over there. So very beautiful trade. I do think price is still gonna play around a bit, maybe go down a bit, and then after we come back and reject that 4 hour EMA, I'll look for my entry signals and then look to enter this trade right here. Great trade, honestly, in my opinion. AUD carry did. Moving on to Euro CHF, almost the same situation as AUD CHF, right? We're currently rejecting that area of interest right now, okay, on the weekly time frame. So looking at the daily, I'm gonna wait for a daily rejection candle to then enter for buys on this pair. That's what I will be doing. On the 4 hour time frame, nothing much has happened as yet, so we're just gonna keep waiting on that. And then looking at Euro AUD, we actually had a nice move on this last week, right? As you guys can see, last week we had the push up, yes, and then we came a bit down, and then we actually rejected with the 4 hour from this area of interest, right? After that move down, I could have caught that move. Unfortunately, I was not really active in the markets at that particular time. But yeah, for a Euro AUD, I'm just gonna look for a little pull back up to then sell. As you can see, I marked out that 4 hour range over there. Okay, cool. Moving on to CAD JPY. CAD JPY recently broke above that area of interest on the weekly. The weekly is also bullish. So looking at the daily is actually bullish as well. Let me just go note that down there. The daily is bullish. So looking at the daily, I just want to pull back into the area of interest to then buy, and then I'll be happy taking this trade for sure. Looking at the 4 hour, same thing as the daily, just waiting for that pullback. This trade is gonna take a lot of time to load. It might even load week after next or week after this one, since it's a Sunday. Technically, it is the start of the week, right? GBP USD. As you can see, we're at the area of interest right now on the weekly time frame. As you can see as well here. So GBP for me is kind of a counter trend trade, because even though we're at the area of interest on the weekly, I still want to look for buys, right? I still want a daily bullish engulfing or daily rejection kind of candle to then enter for buys, right? So I still think this can go to the upside, right? So this is one of those trades that are kind of on the risky side of things. Moving on to NZD/USD, we are at that area of interest, right? It's more optimal to look for sales based on the weekly. Now, looking at it on the daily time frame, when I look very closely, you can see the daily candle is actually a doji, right? So there's two possibilities here. Looking at the 4 hour, it's either we're gonna switch structure on the 4 hour and go to the downside, right? Or it's either we gonna go to the upside, then reject, and then go to the upside. Right, so those are the possibilities that I see happening on NZD/USD. but again, not the best trade. Not the best trade. As you guys can see, as we're going down the trades are having less and less probability. Here again, we're at the weekly area of interest. What do we see on the daily? We actually broke that area of interest. So I'm just gonna look for a nice retest, nice daily confirmation candle, 4 sells on that pair. This pair as well, very high risk, I don't like entering trades after they've had such a long move. You know what I'm saying? And the EMA is so far away. So not an optimal trade, but definitely could be a trade. What I would do probably on this pair is like catch a nice clean 1:2, very quick, very easily. Once price maybe comes back there, catch a nice clean 1:2, because 1:2 is all you need, guys. Trust me. I've learned that lesson over and over and over again. So moving on to EuroCAD. EuroCAD, we had a nice move on the daily time frame. But right now, what am I looking for? I'm just looking for the move toward this area of interest over here. But for the most part, that's gonna take time to load, because I do want at least a weekly kind of rejection indication at that level, right? Again, looking at the 4 hour. Looking at the 4 hour, we did break lower actually. So let me actually update that over there. That's your lower low, and that's your lower high, right? So that's what we're seeing right now on EuroCAD's 4 hour time frame. And yeah, like I said, I want price to pretty much come over here and then hopefully give us a nice entry signal over there on the daily time frame, and then I'll be happy to enter this trade again. Now, S&P 500, probably the last trade I'll be looking at. As you guys can see, we've had a weekly bearish engulfing, and as you guys can see, we've had a double top actually happen over there, right? That's actually a double top, right? Now, as you can see, we've also broke the daily area of interest. So this trade actually looks quite good, right? We've actually broke the daily area of interest, and we shifted structure on the daily time frame. So moving on to the 4 hour, what am I going to look for? I'm pretty much going to look for a pullback into this area of interest, a nice entry signal, to then move to the downside. I'm going to be very careful with this trade. I do not consider this a pullback. That's the reason why I did not move this lower high to this point over there, because I actually don't consider that a pullback. Personally, I'm just speaking through what I've seen, what I've experienced in these markets now. So that's basically it. Looking at gold, gold on the weekly time frame, I was hoping it was gonna close in this area over here, this neckline. Is this a neckline though? Thing on the daily, yeah. So as you can see, we have a daily head and shoulders pattern. Right, let me just show you guys. Daily head and shoulders pattern, right? So I was hoping for a nice close under retest and then move to the downside. I'm gonna wait and see what happens, but this is very high risk, guys, because gold moving below 4,000 is actually gonna be very significant, for the global economies and whatever, bro. That's actually very, very, very significant if gold moves below 4,000. I think that's going to create a lot of demand, right? Because, for so long, for such a long time, gold has been above 4,000. So those are the markets I'll be interested in. If you guys want to see more content, more Sunday swings like this, let me know in the comments down below. Shit, I messed this shit up. But yeah, as I was saying, if you guys want to see more shit like this, full transparency, I'll give you guys an update next week Sunday on what happened, what didn't happen. Right? But if you guys want to see more shit like this, tap in, hit me up, and let's build a community. But I'll catch y'all. It's been Oli FX. See y'all in the next video.